Well, hey, ladies and gents, welcome back to Mrs. Raga Barone's art room here. So let's get started. Today we're discussing contour outline for our value project, right? We're doing our toys and candies fractured, and what we're starting with today, now that we have the beautiful border on our drawing board, is that contour outline. Remember, you can use not only the toys and candies in my room, but you can also bring in, if you've got personal front objects, objects with meaning to you, you know, a keychain from a trip you took this summer or something, maybe you've got a favorite stuffed animal or lovey at home, please feel free to bring it in and include it in this fun drawing. Remember, we've got a couple goals we want to accomplish with our contour outline, okay? We want to include some required elements in this drawing. Let's refresh what they are from our project intro. 1, remember, you need to include size variation. That means you're going to have things that are small, things that are medium, and things that are really big, right? We're going to have different sizes of these drawn toys and candies. Just because something is actually small, right, in real life doesn't mean you can't make it comically large or giant on your picture. Okay. The second thing we're going to do, okay, is make sure that we include an element of overlap. That means as I draw, I'm going to have one object coming in front of or behind another object. Okay. And the third thing we must include, so along with size variation, overlap, is let's make sure we're also including that element of cropping. Right, we put this gorgeous border on our paper, and now we want to use it. Let's have some fun with it. Right, we want to have some objects that are going behind or being cropped by our border. I've even had students in the past too who have had some fun with objects peeking out in front of and going in front of the border. But make sure you are including the border cutting or cropping something. Okay? All right, so we've got those required elements. Because we're working in contour outline, remember, contour outline is just that, it's outline. We're not worried about any shading yet. No shading until we get to the point where we're ready to actually start putting in that value. Right, think back to my samples I've shown you in class, right? We have to get the outline first before we do this really cool fractured shading. Okie dokie. So let's begin. I'm going to start with this funky little skull here. Okay, funky little skull, cool. And I'm going to start with my basic contour outline. And I'm already going to begin by getting some cropping in. I'm just going to have part of this skull peeking in from the side, I think. So I'm going to start here with the skull coming in from the edge. Maybe this will end up being kind of a little bit more of a funky Halloween drawing. Okay. And I'm going to start by putting the edge of the skull in. Now, just because it's contour doesn't mean that there aren't fun details or anything. So I'm still going to sketch in right where I see like that eye socket, where I see the nose socket or cavity happening, where I see details like the teeth starting. And right now I'm just lightly sketching because I'll go back and I'll be refining these lines later after I fracture the space. I see just a little bit of that eye socket on that side as well. Okay, and I've got some cool fractures and things happening in the skull. All right, let's take a look at one I've already started too over here as a class sample. All right, already I've started another one over here for a class sample that includes things like, okay, I've got this cartoon plastic nose and handlebar mustache, I've got a little rubber ducky, and right here just in this section, I've already got all three of my required elements, right? My size variation, big versus small, I've got an element of overlap, and I have an element of cropping. It's just that simple. It's what's going to make your drawing look and feel interesting through this collection of different objects, toys, and candy. Okay, so let's get started with our drawing, and in our next video we'll pick up with a completed contour that shows how to break up and start fracturing this space. All right, have some fun drawing, and ladies and gentlemen, thanks for visiting.